One week before the college entrance exam, all the students in my class were bound to a cheating system. Genius possession, point stealing, and life swapping, score doubling. Everyone firmly believes they can get into Tsinghua and Peking University, so they start slacking off and indulging in wild celebrations. But they don't know that I hold the college entrance exam judgment system, and the cheating system will fail on the day of the exam. I am a college entrance exam homeroom teacher. A week before the exam, the students in my class suddenly had a breakthrough, and the underachievers turned into top students overnight. Only the class monitor, Xia Ran, dropped from first in the grade to last. She couldn't handle the blow and wanted to commit suicide. When I rushed to the rooftop, the principal was persuading her, "Xia Ran, you've been first in the grade for 3 consecutive years. A sure candidate for Tsinghua or Peking University. This exam slip-up was just an accident. The gap between the top and bottom of the grade isn't about luck, it's a 3-year chasm in ability. Calling this cliff-like drop a mere mistake is far too light." Xia Ran's eyes were hollow, clutching the 53-point report card like a death warrant. Her original family was terrible. Every single one of them was a bloodsucker. The college entrance exam was her only chance to change her fate, aside from her giving up on herself. I couldn't think of any reason why she would fall from the top of the pyramid to the very bottom. I slowly moved half a step forward. "Xia Ran, did your parents hit you again? Or are they forcing you to go home and get married? Didn't the teacher say we have to save ourselves 1,000 and 10,000 times? The exam is right in front of us. Let's fight to the end and not give up, okay?" Xia Ran's shoulders trembled. She turned to look at me, her voice shaking. "Teacher Lin, I remember I didn't. When I was doing the questions, I knew every single one, but after handing in the paper, all the answers had changed." My heart skipped a beat. It happened so suddenly that I didn't have time to think it through. In this mock exam, our class averaged 720 points per person. Every single one of us could get into Tsinghua or Peking University. I suddenly realized that this unconventional leap forward wasn't cheating, it could only be the system messing with things. Some people choose to take shortcuts, stealing others' achievements. And Xia Ran is the victim. With a grave expression, I repeatedly assured Xia Ran that there was a way to recover her results before finally calming her down. Then, without wasting a moment, I checked the surveillance footage and brought the most suspicious Zhao Yang to the office. "You were sleeping throughout the exam. How did you get a score of 730? Come on, did you cheat?" Zhao Yang looked at the footage of himself sound asleep and initially refused to admit it. But if I asked a couple more questions, he would explode. "Yes, the whole class cheated. Except for Xia Ran, we all downloaded the college entrance exam cheating system app. As long as you exchange something from the real world for the cheating system, you can easily get into Tsinghua or Peking University." I asked Zhao Yang, "What did you use to exchange for the skill?" Zhao Yang said nonchalantly, "My family's golden retriever, which we had raised for 8 years, was crushed into a pulp by a car right in front of me. How could you bear it? It's just a dog, dead is dead. But with the exam swapping system, I can secure my spot at Tsinghua University. Teacher Lin, I've already got it figured out. Wang Xiyu traded her stunning beauty for double the score. Joseheo swapped his sister's unhappy marriage for the blessing of the exam god, and someone else sacrificed 10 years of their parents' lives." He said it with such confidence, as if the price paid was nothing worth mentioning. Well, given his bottom-off-the-class grades, even getting into a vocational college would be considered lucky for him. Suddenly having the chance to change his life, he probably thinks he's the child of destiny, overjoyed beyond measure. Little did I know, the gifts of fate had already been priced in the dark. With a subtle expression, I asked him, "What about Xia Ran? Why was she left out?" Zhao Yang laughed with schadenfreude. "There are 40 students in the class, but only 39 systems in total. Xia Ran's grades are so good that she doesn't need one. Besides, someone has bound a point-stealing system and specifically swapped out Xia Ran's scores. How ironic. It is said that the college entrance exam is a fair scale, weighing the true value of every ounce of effort. But the emergence of the system turned effort into a sin and scores into prey. For Xia Ran's sake, I will never allow anyone to use the system to disrupt the college entrance exam." After comforting Xia Ran, I called a class meeting. I had just written the words, "There are no shortcuts in the college entrance exam," when a bottle of Mizone flew over and hit me on the head. "Can't you just shut up?" Joseo kicked over his desk. "You keep spouting this crap every day. I've already traded my sister's unhappy marriage for the exam god possession system. Next month, my sister is going to marry an abusive man. If you won't let me take shortcuts, then you marry my sister instead." Once someone started, they didn't even bother pretending anymore. The classroom instantly erupted into chaos. Someone said, "I mortgaged my dad's factory and got 280 in science. Anyway, his crappy factory was going to go bankrupt sooner or later. I don't know what he's holding on for." Someone also said, "My mom's breast cancer means she has at most 1 month to live. What a pity, a month of life can only be exchanged for essay prompts." I felt a chill run down my spine and quickly stopped them. Don't be fools. The system isn't a shortcut, it's a trap. It's not too late to stop now. In the dead silence, Xiaoyang suddenly stood up. "Teacher Lin, you're saying all this because of Xia Ran, aren't you? Because her points were stolen and she has no chance in the college entrance exam. You can't stand to see us underachievers turn things around either." He grabbed the shit-stained broom and hurled it at me. "Get lost. Don't hold us back from getting into Tsinghua and Peking University. Get out now. We don't need your meddling. We've got the system in our hands now. We can get into Tsinghua and Peking University with just a casual exam. Why would we need your teaching?" In the midst of dodging and scrambling, I was utterly disheartened. "Fine. Good words are wasted on the damned. Since you're all so capable, classes are suspended for self-study 7 days before the exam." The whole class cheered. Only Xia Ran stayed by my side preparing for the college entrance exam, never letting up for a moment. In 2 consecutive mock exams, she still ranked last. I wiped away her tears. "You have to trust the teacher. The college entrance exam will definitely be fair." With my indulgence, the whole class went all out, slacking off. The day before the college entrance exam, Xiaoyang suddenly came to me with a gloomy face. "Teacher, the system has stopped responding to us." "How could that be?" I put on a surprised expression. "You are all the chosen ones." "It's true." His voice trembled. "My X-ray vision system hasn't responded for 2 hours. I asked the others, and their systems have malfunctioned too." I slammed the table. "It must be the system charging up. Tomorrow's the college entrance exam, and it's about to hit everyone with something big." Xiaoyang's eyes lit up. "Really?" "Of course," I swore confidently, making it all up. "If I don't get you into Tsinghua or Peking University, I wouldn't be worthy of the high pay you're giving me." Xiaoyang's expression finally improved a bit. I knew it. My golden retriever couldn't have died for nothing. He rushed back to the classroom and told the others, "Everyone must trust the system. This year's provincial top scorers are all from our class." He was foolish, and his voice was loud. Cheers echoed through the hallway, with people running and shouting wildly in the corridors. The entire senior year was giving their all in a final push, and their commotion inevitably affected students from other classes. I quickly reassured them, "The system descending on our class just proves that you are all carefully selected talents. I'm counting on you for my excellent teacher evaluation this year. How about this? I'll give you all a break to go home and let the system rest for a while." Everyone left, except for Xia Ran, who looked dejected. Holding the replaced zero-score exam paper in her hand, she asked me anxiously, "Teacher Lin, what if my grades get swapped again during the college entrance exam?" I looked directly into her eyes and promised repeatedly, "No, I guarantee it as your teacher." On the day of the college entrance exam, I was in charge of monitoring the exam hall surveillance. When I zoomed in, the students in my class, each equipped with the system, reacted differently. Some simply lay down to sleep, turning in blank papers. Others noticed something was off with the system and scratched their heads in frustration. Only Xia Ran was writing furiously. I zoomed in to take a look. Her accuracy rate was nearly 100%. After the first exam ended, Xiaoyang found me at the entrance of the examination hall. He looked panicked, his face pale. "Teacher Lin, my paper swapping system is as good as dead. No matter how I summon it, it just won't appear. I already promised my dad I'd definitely get into Tsinghua University, and he's already bragged about it. If I don't make it, he'll beat me to death. Other students also gathered around chattering. My correct answer prompt system didn't go off at Ali guessed all the multiple choice questions. I'm a smart one. I snatched the life swapping system. I smiled and reassured them, don't worry, everyone. The system will definitely kick in when the scores are being tallied. After sending everyone away, I waved at Xia Ran, who was in the corner. You did well today. Keep it up, and you'll definitely get into Tsinghua or Peking University. Finally, no one came to complain to me about the last few subjects. Under my perfunctory flattery, they all believed they could get into Tsinghua or Peking University. They even got into a fight over who would be the top scorer in the province. The whole class was floating on air. Only Xia Ran came to me after the exams to estimate her scores. Tears fell from her reddened eyes. If the Tem changes my score again, my parents won't let me retake the exams. They said the family is poor and I have to get married for a bride price to fund my brother's education. Zhao Yang laughed exaggeratedly. Then why are you still estimating your score? Shouldn't you be estimating your bride price instead? Zhou Zihao went even further, snatching Xia Ran's score estimation sheet and tearing it to shreds. Don't dream of getting into Tsinghua, you country bumpkin. Hurry up and get married, pop out a few worthless kids just like you, and keep selling your daughters for bride prices. Their overwhelming malice made Xia Ran lower her head. My heart ached, and I quickly pulled her into my arms. Don't listen to their nonsense. You have to trust the teacher. The college entrance exam will definitely be fair. Rest assured and apply to Tsinghua or Peking University. The teacher will take care of everything for you. On the day the college entrance exam results were released, the system-bound classmates brought their parents and reporters. They boasted in front of the cameras, I looked down on 211 schools. 985 is barely acceptable. This year's provincial top scorer is among us. And admissions offices of Tsinghua and Peking University will soon be fighting over us. Not content with their grand claims, they even sneer at me sarcastically. A rookie meets a phoenix. What a stroke of luck. Just coast on our coattails and become a top-tier teacher. Why don't you? Everyone present thought they had lost their minds. Students from a neighboring class burst out laughing. We've heard your class has gone crazy, but this is taking reading novels too far, isn't it? Uninstall that crappy app from your phones before you say another word. Then Zhou Zihao led the way, followed by Zhao Yongda. Bet that if you can't get into Tsinghua or Peking University, you'll do a handstand and eat shit. Their confidence shattered Xia Ran. She shrank behind me, her face full of worry, unable to hold back her sobs. Teacher Lin, I'm scared. If I get 0 points again, I really will die. There's nothing to be afraid of. With me here, the college entrance exam will be absolutely fair and just, and I will definitely find out who stole your scores as the results announcement draws nearer. The dreams of our class students grow bigger and bigger. If Tsinghua and Peking University come to recruit us in a while, who would you choose? Do you even need to ask? Whoever flatters me the most, I'll pick them. I heard there are ducks in Peking University's Weiming Lake. If I say I want to eat one, do you think the president would roast one for me right away? You have such a small appetite. What's a duck? I want Tsinghua to give me a house right next to the Forbidden City. Then I want one in Guomao. Everyone was stunned, looking at me with unbearable pity. Clearly, they were the ones acting crazy, yet I was the one being embarrassed. Soon, the big screen flickered and displayed the scores. The students in our class were all stunned, abruptly falling silent. How is this possible? I'm a perfect score system. How did I get a 0? I'm a clairvoyant system. I clearly copied the correct answers. How could I get a 0? I also got 0. I clearly swapped Xia Ran's score. Zhao Yang suddenly turned his head, staring intently at Xia Ran. You did it on purpose. You deliberately scored 0 to ruin my life. Amid the uproar in the room, Xia Ran's score gleamed brightly on the screen. 730 points. A solid provincial top score. Zhao Yang stared wide-eyed in disbelief, let out a piercing scream, then crouched on the ground, frantically tearing at his own hair. Amid the wails and howls of the entire class, I let out a silent, cold sneer. Did they really think that binding a cheating system would get them into Qingbei? Sorry, but I have the college entrance examination judge system, specifically designed to crack down on all kinds of cheating. What awaits you next is not an admission letter from Tsinghua or Peking University, but the judgment of justice. The fact that my class produced a provincial top scorer with 720 points and 39 zero scores exploded onto the trending list. Parents of the students cornered me in the office, demanding an explanation. Same teacher, same lessons, so how come Xia Ran got 730 and my son got 0? If you don't explain this clearly, I'll report you to the Education Bureau. There's definitely something fishy here. My daughter usually scores over 500 in mock exams, so how could she suddenly get a 0? If you don't give me a reasonable explanation, I'll call the police and have you arrested. As for those students who were shouting that I shouldn't interfere, they were all now avoiding my gaze, not daring to look me in the eye. Now he doesn't mention the system. I let out a cold laugh and was about to speak when Zhao Yang suddenly rushed out. Dad, Teacher Lin never takes care of us. She only tutors Xia Ran alone. It's her fault I got a 0, that's right. Teacher Lin is biased. I don't even dare to ask her questions. She doesn't grade our homework and calls us stupid. It's all her fault. They turn the tables with their masterful acting, leaving me trembling with rage. The reporters at the door all aim their cameras at me. Teacher Lin, some students have reported that you've been treating them unfairly for a long time, causing them to feel psychologically unbalanced and all score 0 on their exams. How do you respond to the accusation that you are unworthy of being a teacher? I sneered, about to retort, when Zhao Yang's father grabbed me by the collar. What's there to explain? This bitch must have taken money from Xia Ran's family, spending all her time tutoring her, and that's why she neglected my son. Xia Ran's voice trembled as she testified for me. That's not true. They're lying. They were the ones who said there was a system. Shut up. Did I ask you to speak? Zhao Yang grabbed his water cup and threw it. I quickly broke free and shielded Xia Ran behind me. The cup hit my back with a loud thud, and the entire room fell into dead silence. I slowly lifted my head, my gaze icy cold. Are you done with this act of shifting blame? When fairness is violated, someone must become the keeper of the scales. I took out my phone and opened the video. In the footage, they were spouting nonsense. It's just a dog dead is dead. With X-ray vision, I'm definitely getting into Tsinghua. I traded my sister's unhappy marriage for a difficulty reduction system. Next month, she'll have to marry that abusive man. I mortgaged my dad's factory in exchange for a 280 in science. Too bad my mom's breast cancer means she only has at most a month to live. The video continued playing. Every word they said, relying on the system to insult me and tell me to get lost, was clearly audible. The parents' faces shifted from anger to ashen. A parent asked, "What is this?" I said coldly, "This is evidence that your children tried to trade their lifespan for grades, exchange their loved ones for answers, and cheat the system." The parents turned sharply, glaring at their own children. Several parents started fighting on the spot, and the office instantly descended into chaos. Zhao Yang was slapped to the ground by his father. Zhou Zihao was pinned down and beaten mercilessly, and all the students who scored 0 were being thrashed by their parents. The reporters frantically took photos, and public opinion instantly reversed. Zhao Yang suddenly pointed at me hysterically and shouted, "It's you. You made us believe in the system." Everyone paused and turned to look at me in unison. "You were the one who announced the holiday before the college entrance exam, Teacher Lin. You can't escape responsibility. If it weren't for you, how could these kids have believed in something as absurd as the system? Their minds are immature, and as the head teacher, you must take full responsibility." I was so angry, I almost laughed, raising an eyebrow and saying, "Evidence? You don't have any, do you?" "But I have all the evidence of your child cheating. I have long said that the gifts of fate come with a price tag hidden in the shadows." Armed with the college entrance examination judge system, I directly initiated a trial and started a live broadcast for all to see. The defendants were the 39 students in my class, and the plaintiffs were none other than their family members, whose system skills had been exchanged away. Between the plaintiff and defendant seats lies a 500-meter thorny railway. Those who apologize first or forgive first must walk barefoot across the railway to embrace the other on the opposite side. No one understood why, but everyone panicked. I stood at the judge's bench and declared in a deep voice, The case of 39 students in my class cheating on the college entrance exam system is now in session. The first defendant, Zhao Yang, and the plaintiff, the golden retriever Nike. Please restore the scene of the incident on the big screen. As the words fell, the image of Zhao Yang using the golden retriever to exchange for the system skill appeared on the screen. Next came the scene of Nike sending Zhao Yang off to school, only to be hit by a car, letting out a piercing scream. Meanwhile, Zhao Yang's expression was eerie. Instead of choosing to save it, he watched coldly as the golden retriever was repeatedly run over until it died. The barrage of comments targeted Zhao Yang. What did the fur baby do wrong? If you don't love it, at least don't hurt it. If you want X-ray vision, go trade your own worthless life for it. What does the dog have to do with it? It loves you so much. How could you bear to hurt it? Zhao Yang didn't care how furious the barrage comments were. He clicked his tongue twice and called out, "Nike, come here." The golden retriever, which had come back to life, didn't hesitate for a moment and ran straight to its owner. Thorns pricked its paws, making it step back and hesitate for a second. Then, it charged forward again into Zhao Yang's arms, wagging its tail and acting spoiled wildly. Zhao Yang sneered at me contemptuously. "Teacher Lin, my Nike has forgiven me. There's nothing you can do about it now." I smiled and asked Nike, "Are you sure you want to forgive your owner, even if it means turning into a pile of flesh again?" It understood me and wagged its tail at me. I sighed regretfully. "All right, as you wish." The next second, Nike licked Zhao Yang's face and vanished into thin air in front of everyone. Zhao Yang said anxiously, "Nike has already forgiven me. Let me go now." I placed him back in the audience. The barrage comments all turned their focus towards me. Is this trial a joke? If you can't deliver a verdict, don't bother bringing it up. What good does it do you to piss me off? Woof woof. The dog doesn't understand what's happening. Only knows to love its owner as always. I cast a faint glance and moved on to the next trial. Defendant Zhou Zihao, plaintiff Zhou Ziying, the case of using your sister's unhappy marriage to exchange for the exam god possession system. Defendant, do you have anything to say? There's nothing to say. My mom said my sister will take care of me for the rest of my life. So what if she marries an abusive man? Women need to be disciplined to behave. Zhou Zihao's face was full of disdain. Imitating Zhao Yang, he beckoned to his sister. "Hurry up and get over here. Don't make me slap you." Zhou Ziying stood still in silence, her head lowered, lost in thought. Her mother got anxious and slapped her on the back. "What are you standing there like an idiot for? Hurry up and go. Don't tell me you're expecting your brother to come over and apologize to you." The comments were all advising her, "Sis, don't go. Don't be a doormat for your brother. You're about to be married off to an abusive man. What are you hesitating for? Take this chance and run. You have the right not to forgive. Please, for the love of God, don't forgive." Zhou Ziying stared at the barrage of comments for a long time, then suddenly looked up and asked me, "What consequences will my forgiveness bring me?" I replied to her, "Following the path your brother set for you. You married an abusive man, and in the end, you were beaten to a first-degree severe injury and died on the spot. Why are you asking about this?" Zhou Zihao was frantic. "Mom, Dad, hurry up and push her over here." Zhou Ziying was held by her parents on both sides, being forcibly pushed onto the railway tracks. She suddenly smiled with relief and shouted loudly, "I don't forgive. Whether Zhou Zihao lives or dies has nothing to do with me. 1 millimeter from the railway tracks. I saved her." Zhou Ziying turned and walked away without even glancing at her brother, ignoring her parents' wails and howls as she never looked back. The comments were all celebrating. Congratulations to the young lady for escaping the sea of suffering. Run away quickly. The farther the better. Waiting for Zhou Zihao to be sentenced. If you go easy on him, I'll tear down your live stream. I smiled and struck the gavel. Defendant Zhou Zihao has not received the victim's forgiveness. Under reciprocal punishment, I sentence you to a lifetime of misfortune, with bad luck clinging to you. The next second, Zhou Zihao's parents picked up chairs and hurled them at me, but they swerved and smashed Zhou Zihao's head, leaving him bleeding. The barrage finally expressed satisfaction. Who said this judgment was bad? It's absolutely perfect. I really want to carry Zhou Zihao around with me, so my bad luck will be sucked away by him. No, what if you end up getting struck by lightning alongside him? Next, it was Wang Tingting. whose mother had breast cancer and used her last month of life to trade for an essay topic prediction. I looked at the plaintiff. Through your daughter's sacrifice, you have already died on your hospital bed. The only chance for you to come back to life now is to choose not to forgive your daughter. Wang Tingting wept heart-wrenchingly, kowtowing frantically across the 500-meter railway tracks. Mom, I'm sorry, it was my fault. But even if you come back to life, you only have 1 month left, while I still have a bright future ahead. Mom, I'm begging you, please forgive me. I'm waiting for you here. Can you come over and give me a hug? The comments were harsh. They say children are debt collectors, and that couldn't be more true. This daughter is selfish and cold-blooded. If it were me, none of us would let's just die together. But I feel like her mother will forgive her. As expected, the mother, whose face was drained of color from the torment of illness, gently wiped away the tears from the corners of her eyes. She took off her shoes and smiled bitterly. Ting, don't cry. Mom is coming over right now. I couldn't bear to persuade her. If you walk over there, you'll die on the spot. And given your physical condition, it's hard to say whether you can even make it through the 500 meters of railway tracks. Wouldn't it be better to let Wang Tingting come over, and then you forgive her? The mother shook her head. My daughter can't stand pain. I only have a month left to live, so why make her suffer through this? With that, she stepped barefoot onto the thorns, and blood immediately gushed from the soles of her feet. The crowd gasped in shock, watching her tremble all over in pain. Yet she persisted, walking 100 meters, then another 100, before finally collapsing halfway. She looked at me helplessly and begged, Teacher Lin, I no longer have the strength to stand. Can I trade my life for my daughter's safety? I shook my head coldly and refused without mercy. You can have Wang Tingting come over. I don't want to. Wang Tingting was both anxious and angry. Mom, I'm begging you, just crawl over here. Didn't you say you love me and want to be mother and daughter with me in the next life? I promise you, just come over quickly. Okay. The barrage comments are unbearable to watch. Another lifetime? What, do you think life is too long? Spoiling raises an ungrateful child. Walking 200 meters, I'll call it maternal love overflowing. But walking any further is just asking for death. Your daughter has grown twisted under your protection, can't you see that? This time it's you, next time it's your husband, and the time after that. Forget it. You're already dead. Wang Tingting suddenly broke down emotionally and yelled at her mother. What are you dawdling for? You've endured the pain of chemotherapy, so what's a little pain like this to you? You're my mother if you can't even protect me. What kind of mother are you? That frail figure began to tremble violently. I couldn't bear it, so I quietly eased her pain, and then our eyes met. She asked me softly, Teacher, is it too late for me to change my mind now? I nodded firmly. It's not too late. Then I choose not to forgive my daughter. Let her bear the consequences of her own mistakes. All right. Amid Wang Tingting's desperate cries, I sent her back. I struck the gavel and announced in a deep voice, Defendant Wang Tingting, without her mother's forgiveness, is sentenced to a halved lifespan, plagued by constant pain. As the words fell, Wang Tingting let out a scream and collapsed to the ground. She curled up on the floor, aching all over, muttering, Mom, I was wrong, please save me. But her mother had already walked away, unable to hear her. I swept my gaze downward, and everyone averted their eyes, afraid of being called out by me. A couple on the plaintiff's bench suddenly spoke up. It's our turn now, isn't it? Please hurry up. I don't have time to waste here with you. I nodded in agreement. As soon as the defendant Wang Siyu's name was called, the couple couldn't wait to speak up. We don't forgive, and we won't remarry. Let's just leave it at that. Wang Siyu remained pale-faced and silent. I thought for a moment and said, The plaintiff, please state your reasons, and the court will handle it accordingly. Wang Siyu's father said impatiently, If it weren't for fear of affecting Wang Siyu's college entrance exam, her mother and I would have divorced long ago. Well, this saves us the trouble. I don't want custody, let her mother have it. You wish. Just because you don't want something, do you think I'd be happy to take it? Wang Siyu's mother's face fell. I don't want it. Give it to whoever you want. The courtroom turned into a battleground for them to argue over custody, the couple quarreling endlessly. Enough. I won't go with either of you, all right? Wang Siyu's eyes reddened as she said stubbornly, I'm already 18, an adult. If you want a divorce, go ahead. If you want to go somewhere, go ahead. Don't worry about me. This unusual situation left the barrage comments stunned. Is this considered a wrongful conviction? Surely it's because the parents have a bad relationship, pretending to be harmonious while being estranged, and then they shift the blame for not wanting a divorce onto the child. I heard that after the college entrance exam, many parents line up at the Civil Affairs Bureau to get divorced, claiming they've endured until now for the sake of their children. This girl is innocent. I made my ruling. Wang Xiyu bit her lip and looked at me. Teacher Lin, just go ahead and make your ruling. I can accept whatever the outcome is. To be honest, I'm a bit torn. By all rights, I should have ruled that she sever all emotional ties, cutting her off from her parents' love for the rest of her life. But as things stand, she's already in that state. I thought for a moment and said, Defendant Wang Xiyu, the court rules that the parent-child relationship with your parents is hereby dissolved. As for the rest, it's all up to her fate. One after another, no one successfully walked that 500-meter railway track. I imposed equal penalties on all of them, sentencing each one. The last defendant, Xia Ran, is a special case. She has two plaintiffs. One is Xia Ran's father, who had 10 years of his lifespan sacrificed. The other is Xia Ran, whose test scores were swapped. Plaintiffs and defendant, please step onto the judgment platform. Xia Ran's father was completely paralyzed. It was Xia Ran who pushed his wheelchair to bring him in. I looked at Xia Ran as the study committee member. You always rank within the top 20 in every mock exam. You could easily pass on your own, so why did you trade your father's 10 years of life for a point-stealing system? Xia Ran's face was calm, because I envy Xia Ran. It's that simple. I couldn't understand, and neither could anyone else. Xia Ran's father was paralyzed in bed, and her mother ran away. The family relied entirely on her grandmother collecting scrap to make ends meet. But how much better was Xia Ran's situation? She had been beaten since childhood and was not allowed to go to school. Her parents would come to school at the slightest disagreement to drag her back home and marry her off for a bride price. If it weren't for the school waiving her tuition and fees and giving her a scholarship, Xia Ran wouldn't have been able to attend school at all. Both of them were sponsored students from impoverished backgrounds, so how could there be any jealousy? But Xia Ran said we're both poor students, both working just as hard. What gives her the right to be above me? She, under your protection, lives at school and avoids her parents' entanglements. But what about me? I already have enough academic pressure. Yet I still have to go home and take care of my bedridden father and collect trash with my grandmother. I have less and less time to study, and the gap between Xia Ran and me keeps growing. It's not fair. Xia Ran was so excited that her eyes turned red and her whole body trembled. The saying suddenly came to my mind. A beggar does not envy a millionaire, but he will certainly envy a beggar who earns more. Though inappropriate, it was very fitting. I asked her softly, so you bound yourself to the point-stealing system and deliberately scored 0. What else could it be? Xia Ran's smile twisted. Why should I go easy on my opponent? The barrage suddenly exploded, so Xia Ran wasn't trying to get a high score for herself, but simply wanted to harm Xia Ran. She treats Xia Ran as her imaginary rival, but who cares what Xia Ran thinks? Jealousy disfigures people. Just because you're miserable, you have to drag others down with you. What kind of logic is that? Classic quote. Why does she deserve to live better than me? Xia Ran clenched her fists and suppressed her anger, saying, Xia Ran, you're wrong. Your opponent has always been yourself. I study hard not to defeat anyone, but to give myself one more ounce of confidence to break free from the abyss. You won, so of course you can say that. Xia Ran laughed bitterly. I'm not as lucky as you, having someone as formidable as Teacher Lin to protect you, even able to easily erase the system. Lan. Xia Ran's father called out in a trembling voice, and her eyes immediately reddened. Apologize. Xia Ran stubbornly refused to bow her head. Then tell me, why did you sacrifice 10 years of your father's lifespan? Xia Ran said impatiently, stop wasting words, just make the judgment. She pretended to be calm and composed, as if nothing was wrong. But the barrage revealed the truth. Because she was poor, so poor that she had nothing to offer except her bedridden father and elderly grandmother, But she could have sacrificed herself, yet she still chose her father. Maybe she also thought her father was a burden. Xianglan suddenly pointed at the barrage and shouted, "What do you know? My father is the most precious person to me." If you want to blame someone, blame Xia Ran. If it weren't for her being too good at her studies, why would the point-stealing system only take 10 years of my father's life, the most precious person? How much must she hate Xia Ran to be willing to sacrifice the most precious person? I coldly interrupted her. "Stop making excuses for your last shred of self-respect. You've trapped yourself in the persona of a tragic filial daughter, bound by morality, wanting to cast it off but not daring to. So you redirect your resentment towards Xia Ran, whom you can never catch up to. The system's appearance conveniently satisfies your despicable thoughts. All right, stop with the nonsense. Apologize or not. The choice is yours." Xianglan's lips trembled, her voice dry and hoarse. "I don't need forgiveness." As soon as she finished speaking, her father slid off the wheelchair and struggled desperately on the ground, trying to move toward the railway tracks. He didn't succeed, but anyone could see his determination to protect his daughter. Only Xianglan was furious, gritting her teeth and saying with disdain, "Dad, that's enough." I didn't want to give her a chance, so I slammed down the gavel, defended Xianglan for abusing the system and stealing others' achievements, is hereby sentenced to lifelong service as a nursing home caregiver, with electronic shackles for supervision. If any violation occurs during the service period, electric shock punishment will be immediately enforced. The above is the personal punishment verdict. Now the final judgment will be announced. Upon trial and investigation, it has been found that the 39 defendants used an illegal system to cheat in the college entrance examination. They are hereby lawfully sentenced to permanent disqualification from the college entrance examination and lifelong deprivation of the right to higher education admission. Not 1 year, not 10 years, but a lifetime. These 39 individuals will be forever barred from entering the gates of any university. The college entrance exam must be fair. When fairness is desecrated, there will always be those who stand as its guardians. And my existence is to expose all cheaters. This is my duty as an exam invigilator for the Gaokao. The end.